everybody, my name is Sheila or SL Reads, and today I'm finally going to be doing the part 2 book haul that I started at Christmas, and now it's kind of like New Year's, kind of almost February book haul, but I'm just going to call it part 2 and we're just going to go for it. So first I got a number of ebooks, which I can't show you because I'm currently filming this on my phone. The first of these is Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. I got this book because it was the kind of like required book for the biannual bibliothon, which I just did. I'm going to be filming a video review for this book because I read it and I absolutely hated it. Would not recommend it. This book is about a virtual reality video game, but beyond that there's like a load of shit that is too much for me to go into right now. But if you like video games, I would advise you just go play one, because the whole time I was just reading this book and I was just like, wow, I just want to go play video games. And then what did I do all weekend after finishing this book? Play Dragon Age Inquisition. So if I were you, I would just go do that, because it's probably a better idea. The next ebook that I got was Shame by Jack Schaefer. This was another book that I read for the biannual bibliothon. This was a Western. It was the first Western I've ever read, because I am also doing a reading challenge this year that involves reading a Western, and it was really good. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it so much. The next ebook that I got was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I think it's something along the lines of like Beauty and the Beast. I think there's like a girl who goes to live with like a dragon in a castle who just turns out to be a man. I've heard like mixed reviews about it, but I've heard about it for so long that I just wanted to pick it up finally, and there was like a deal for it on Amazon, and I was like, I guess I'll just get it. So I did, and I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm hoping to sometime soon, just to like finally get to it and see if it's good, if it's bad, maybe contribute my own review, who knows. And the final ebook that I got was The Murderess of Ferret Styles, which is the first of the Hercule Poirot mysteries. So I got this before I finished Murder on the Orient Express, which I read for the biannual bibliothon, and I didn't like the ending of that. I hope this one is better. I've heard And Then There Were None is like a better Agatha Christie to read. I don't know how good this one is, but again, it was cheap on Amazon. I just feel like Agatha Christie is so well known that like something she wrote has to be good. Like, no offense to anybody who likes her, but like I just really did not like the ending of Murder on the Orient Express. I liked like this little like middle bit. Not the beginning, not the end, just like a tiny little bit, and then I was angry again. The next book that I got in both ebook and physical copy. I just got this book yesterday actually, like the physical copy finally came in, and that is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. This is a romance, I believe. I think that's the category it falls under, but it's definitely like paranormal romance. This is a fantastic story. I wrote a really long review about it if you want like more information about like what it's about. Essentially follows the main character Ox for like over a decade of his life, and there are werewolves in this book, as you might be able to tell from the wolfsong part. It's just so cool. It has such great family relationships and a great romance. It definitely is like built up for a long time, and it shows like people coming into their power and like proving people wrong and just going above and beyond, and it is fantastic. It is also like huge. Like, I was trying to figure out why it wasn't like a very thick book, and then I got it and I was like, well, I understand, because she's just very large. The second book in this series, which follows a different character in this book, is coming out in July, and I'm so excited. If I read this like before I did my most anticipated reads of the year, I would probably have put that on there, but I didn't. So you should definitely go read this. It's fantastic. You can get the Kindle edition and then get the physical edition, just like I did. Spend all your money. TJ Klune deserves it. So there's another book that I bought in both ebook and physical format, because I read the ebook and then fell in love with the author, and then bought like everything that I possibly could by her and became a Patreon for her webcomic. I'm in love with her at this point in time. I don't even know how to explain it. But that book is Solitaire by Alice Oseman. This is one of the last books that I read in 2017. I'm probably still going to include it in like my best books of 2018 video, because I like read it like right at the end. And this has been called The Catcher in the Rye of the modern age. I didn't like Catcher in the Rye, but I love this book, and I definitely see where it's coming from. It's definitely a coming-of-age story. It follows a female protagonist who struggles with mental health issues, which is something that is not really like addressed until the end of the book, but you do see evidence of it throughout. This is just an addictive read. Like, I couldn't put it down. I just like kept reading it, and like I think I finished this in a day. I love the characters. The main character's name is Tori Spring. Her younger brother Charlie is the main character in the webcomic that Alice Oseman draws, and the reason that it is like the Catcher in the Rye of the digital age is because Solitaire is like this online phenomena cult thing that happens in this small town in England, and it's just so strange and surreal, and yet it's still happening. It combines that weird cult with this great story and this great setting, and it's just fantastic. Go pick this up. I love Alice Oseman. One of her books is also coming out this year, and if I had read this before I made that video, I would have put her on it. So after reading that book, I read the 2 ebooks, which I should have included at the beginning of this video with the other ebooks, but I wanted to keep this all in like an Alice Oseman bubble. And so I read 2 of her ebooks, which are like novellas spin-offs of Solitaire, and the first of those was Nick and Charlie, which is about her brother and his boyfriend. It is set after this book, and it follows the same characters as the webcomic. If you want to read that, it's called Heartstopper. You should. It's fantastic. It's just a short story that deals with them trying to figure out how they're going to continue their relationship when one of them is going off to university and the other one is still in school. And it's cute. Like, it's not like a complex plot, it's just cute. It's kind of stressful at times, but I enjoyed it. And then the other one is This Winter, which just follows the 3 spring siblings, which is Tori, Charlie, and their younger brother Oliver, on Christmas Day, and it just shows it from each of their perspectives and things they're dealing with. It is set before Solitaire. That one was very cute as well. It was kind of sad at times because one of the characters had just gotten out of the hospital, and it's kind of him like dealing with how his family is viewing him after this, and definitely worth the read. And if you read Solitaire and you like it, then I would just advise you pick up everything by Alice Oseman, because that's what I'm doing, and I'm having a great time. I got Alice Oseman's second novel after reading Solitaire, because I'm obsessed, and that is Radio Silence. I don't really know anything about this, in all honesty. I think this involves like a very minor character from Solitaire who like is in this book. They're definitely in the webcomic, so it's in the same town. I just picked it up because it was by Alice Oseman, and that's literally it. Also, Alice Oseman is like super young. Like, I think she published Solitaire when she was like 19, and so she's definitely someone who was like recently lived the events of her teenage years. She has an interesting perspective on that. I've heard that people picked up her books because they wanted to read something by such a young author, and really, if you just need any reason to pick up her books, just go for it. Like, she's young, the books are amazing, I'm addicted to them, I'm in love with Alice Oseman, just go for it. The next 2 books I got while I was vlogging, and I went to a bunch of bookstores with my friend Brian. So the first one I don't have with me because I read it, fell in love with it, left it at home, and that was Howl's Moving Castle. I feel like not a lot of people know that Howl's Moving Castle is a book. It's not just the fantastic, amazing Studio Ghibli movie, it is also a book. The book and the movie are different. They have the same characters, and they have the same general, like, good versus evil plot line, but a lot of things are different about it. But somehow both versions work so well. Like, neither of them are bad, and they both work in their own format. Like, I feel like if you tried to take the exact story from the book and put it as a movie, it wouldn't be as breathtaking and captivating as the Studio Ghibli movie was. It's such a fantastic story with a fantastic cast of characters, and I definitely just recommend it. I gave it 5 stars. It was one of the best things that I read this year so far. It was fantastic. If you want some Howl's dramatic ass, then I would advise you read it because you're getting more of it, and it's so cute. Like, reading it the whole time, I was just like seeing like the movie in my head, and then immediately afterwards I was like, I'm having Howl withdrawals, and so I had to go upstairs and watch the movie and cry because I love Howl so much, and it's just fantastic. Also, it's a series, so I'm probably going to be picking up the other books in that series sometime soon because it was so good, and I'm addicted, and I'm probably going through Howl withdrawals right now. The next book that I got was colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and his Years of Pilgrimage by Haruki Murakami. I have 2 friends on BookTube who have been recommending a lot of stuff to me, and that is Christine from Turning Pages 52 and Catherine from The Literary Prince. Catherine loves Murakami probably more than anything else. Like, I've never heard somebody talk so much about one author before, and that just inspired me to read something by Murakami. And I asked her for advice, and I was like, which one should I read first? And she recommended this one, and so while I was at the bookstore with my friend Brian, I stumbled across this, and I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that, but I bought it because I thought, why not? I honestly don't know anything about this. I've just heard that he's one of the greatest Japanese writers of his time, if not one of the greatest writers of his time in general. And your friends love something so much that they like wax poetic about it. Every single time you hear from them, like, you know it's something that you just have to get your hands on. So I hope that this will give me some insight into why Catherine is so in love with him. The next 2 books were presents from one of my closest friends. Thank you, Katie, for giving me books and all the other presents you gave me. The first one is Milk and Vine, which is just, it's like milk and honey, but it's just filled with just vines. And I love Vine, and I'm so excited that Vine 2 is coming. I don't know what to expect, if it's gonna be like similar, if it's gonna be better. I really have no idea. The other book that Katie got for me is The Art of Fielding by Chad Harbeck. Besides the fact that it's about baseball, I don't really know anything about this. I feel like that's like the theme for this book haul is I don't know anything about any of these books. As many of you probably know, I'm from Chicago, and baseball is kind of a big thing there. Chicago Cubs won the World Series a few years ago for the first time in like 100 years. It's kind of a big deal. I've just recently gotten more into baseball. My dad has always loved baseball, and it's kind of slowly rubbing off on me, all of his love of sports. I'm trying to get into sports, to figure out what the hype is. I understand books, not really sports. Hopefully this will help me understand baseball a little more. It is fiction and not like non-fiction, so I don't really know like how much baseball knowledge is going to teach me, but I hope some. Because I've definitely gone to games with Katie, who gave me this book, and just been like, what the hell does all of this stuff mean on the scoreboard? And she has to like explain each and everything. The next book that I got is Simon vs. the Homo sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I heard somewhere that this book came out in like 2015 or something like that, and that doesn't sound real, because I swear this book has been out like my whole life. I swear, like, this has been part of like my literary canon forever. I never picked this up because I thought it was too good to be true. The fact that it had homo, like, as in like homosexual on the cover, I thought like, unrealistic, it's not actually going to be about the gays. I was wrong, it is actually about the gays. This was just fantastic. I love the vibe of this book. I'm not going to say it's the most realistic telling of what being a teenager is like, since I am currently a teenager, but it is definitely like a happy take on life. It's just like a very comforting book. I definitely relate to this character when he is talking about coming out. I love the love story in this, and I cannot wait to see this on the big screen. I cried after I finished this, and then I watched all the trailers, and then I cried some more. They released the international trailer, and it stressed me out. If you want to cry, then just watch that. I literally just like paused it on one part of the video, and I just like screamed. Like, did not stop screaming. My roommate was very concerned, but yeah, that happened. The final book is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. This is a sci-fi novel, which is co-written by a booktuber. Lots of people know Sasha Alsberg. Her channel is a book utopia. She's probably the first booktuber that I ever watched. Like, I definitely watched mostly her videos before I got like more into booktube, and then I started watching a few more people's, and then I started branching out when I started making booktube videos. But if you're subscribed to her, you've probably heard a lot about this book. This was originally supposed to be a serialized novel, so I read the first part of that before I got this publishing deal. I've heard very mixed reviews about this, but I feel like some people might just be like shitting on it because they know that she's a booktuber and they think that she got a break, and I don't know if that's true. It could be, might not be. I honestly have no idea. This one is very small in comparison to the book that I held up before that was really large. I've been getting a lot of like UK editions of books recently because I don't want the hardcovers because I prefer paperbacks. So that's why I got this one. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, and I kind of want to go into this not really knowing what's going to happen. I'm kind of picturing that it's going to be like Throne of Glass set in space, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because like if it's like original Throne of Glass set in space, that's good, but if it's like later Throne of Glass set in space, maybe not so good. So that is the end of my January, Christmas, New Year's, February, everything book haul. Finally get past it, put up part 2, because I put part 1 on the other video and it's just been hanging over my head ever since. If you've read any of these books, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of them. I honestly have no idea what any of them are about. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I put out videos every week, so if you want to see more of those, then please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!